I'm going to turn it over to Monique Cuddy from Troop 5164.
So I thought I would start with a little blessing, and for all the Scouters that hopefully will be resuming meetings in person safely. I thought I would do this, a Scout's prayer for the warmth of the fire. For the warmth of the fire, for the joy of singing, for the laughter of games, for the fun of yells, for the happiness of campfires shared, we thank you, God. So hopefully everyone will be sharing safely those campfires very soon. And then I have one other thing. Let me go back. Just have to close this. The colors from Beverly Madison in Troop 5164.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Monique.
You're welcome.
Moving right along, Greg, you have updates from the council end of things for us?
Just a few things about programming. The restarting scouting protocol that was released at the program launch and emailed out to everybody is still in effect. I know that phase 3 officially started today. Guidelines are being reviewed, and just like phase 2, when that was started, there are still more guidelines to be released. So we'll be looking at those, sharing them with our risk management team and our council key 3 for possible changes in the near future. The Order of the Arrow has their Become Tech Summer Experiences the next 3 Saturdays up at Moses for their members. There's information on the calendar about that. They'll be doing some service for camp during the day. And recreational use up at Horace A. Moses Scout Reservation is available during the day. We just ask that people sign in at the Manor House. They can do that as a family, or they can do that as a unit. It'll just ask you to put one person down as the primary contact and indicate that you've completed the pre-event medical screening, and we'll practice minimum health and safety practices and look for some more information coming up this fall, hopefully about some program opportunities. Thank you.
Okay, great. And then let's see, Rebecca and Colin, Appalachian Trail updates.
I don't have any at this time this evening.
Okay. What I have from General Knox, just a reminder to some people that the popcorn sale began on July 1st. Camp Kinda Lika is going on, and they can register for that through the website. There's a popcorn kickoff on July 16th at 7 p.m. That's going to be a Zoom meeting. August 1st is World Scout Scarf Day. So for people who do have to show up for work, things like that, it's a great day for spreading the information about scouting by wearing your favorite scout scarf. And then coming up August 3rd will be our next roundtable, and I was just talking before our meeting started, given the new guidelines that the governor released regarding COVID-19 and phase 3, the limit for in-person gathering is 25 people. So our August 3rd roundtable will be a virtual roundtable as well. And then August 11th and 12th, the General Knox people, we have a commissioners meeting on the 11th, and on the 12th is the committee meeting, and those are both August. There's nothing scheduled for July. And then moving right along to Julia and Mike.
I don't know if I didn't see if Julia is on, but Metacomet is still working on the calendar, tweaking it as new information comes in, but we are planning the fall program as if we're going to be able to do everything in person. The Cub Fun Days, Camporees, other meetings and trainings. Stay tuned. We're still looking at the releases of phase 3 for the possibility of doing some kind of an in-person August 15th kickoff for the district for the new program year.
Okay. All right. Is Julia on? Does she have an update about the trading post? I don't see her on the list. Okay. Greg, can you give us any updates on what's happening with Trading Post?
Trading Post is open Monday, 9:30 until 6:30 at night, and Tuesday through Friday, 9:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon at this point in time, and continues to be closed on Saturdays. If you email or call in your order, they can start getting things together for you in advance as well, if that would be helpful.
Okay, awesome, thank you. All right, Cheryl, you have membership information you'd like to share. Cheryl?
I'm opening up my screen share.
All right. For a second there, I wasn't sure if you were muted.
You didn't need to hear me fumbling through everything. So yes, I was muted at the start. Let's go back one. So we're all in for scouting again, as you know, and we're ready for July and August and moving right along through the year. The first thing, of course, is our virtual recruiter challenge. Remember, we introduced this in May, the May Roundtable. It runs May 4th to June 30th. And congratulations to those units. Let me know that they updated their Be a Scout pins and that they're ready to welcome new members. And that's really, really important. Now, if you need directions on how to update your pin, just go on to scouting.org/resources/online registration. And if you've completed updating your pin, let Art know, let me know, because we have a ribbon set aside for you. So far, I've heard from 6 units, and they've earned ribbons for updating their pins. They're ready to recruit. So let's go on to, oh, mine doesn't want to go forward for some reason. Here we go. Now, the second part of our virtual recruiter challenge, of course, is actually being able to earn that patch. That runs until August 22nd. So please post positive Scout experiences on social media. That's really important. Get those things up there, share around what your unit is doing, that you're meeting, that your kids are having a great time at Camp Kinda Like Her, or that they're accessing merit badge classes. Art Lebel shared our virtual recruiter challenge with Wendy Shaw, who is the National BSA Director of Membership Growth. She had a very positive response to this plan. So we're on the right track with this. Let's make sure we use this, that we invite non-Scouts to participate in virtual activities or, when it's safe, in-person activities, and enroll those new kids. Make sure that you submit the paperwork that you find on the resources page and earn that patch. Membership growth is recruitment and retention. We're working on both simultaneously. We want to know that you're engaging your kids, your Scouts, in all of your programs this summer. It doesn't have to be the regular weekly schedule that you're used to year long, but do something on a regular basis to engage those families. Encourage your kids to be involved in some way in their Scouting program. If you have families that are inactive, please reach out to them. Let them know they're registered through the end of the year, and you want them to get involved. You want them to join you. Also, monitor your Be a Scout messages, invite non-scouts to join. Breaking news. We interrupt this regularly scheduled presentation to ask you, save the date, August 8th, that's a Saturday, there's National Cub Scout Family Fun Day. This will have some in-person and some virtual activity. It's at the national level. We're hoping to have local registration available soon. And the key is, this is open to all Cub age youth and their families, not just those who are already involved. So please spread, when more information comes out on this, share it with your non-scouting friends, have them join you. We now return to our regularly scheduled presentation. Marketing and membership resources. We have lots of resources available to us. All pertinent forms, all the information that you need to be accessed through the Western Mass Council Scouting Membership Resources page. Or you could go directly to scoutingwire.org/marketing and membership hub. All of those things are available. New things are being added continuously. So please access that often. Ask questions of Art or me if you have any. We do have BSA recruiting webinar series that's being offered throughout the summer. We mentioned this at program launch. We've already had one of those sessions. It was really quite good, and it's available through a link on the council website. But you can also register for a session on this week on Thursday, July 9th at 8 o'clock. It's the tech edition on beascout.org, Invitation Manager. There are others on Scoutbook, geofencing, local PR, and 5 things you should be doing now this summer to recruit. We announced a lot of these things as part of our initiative in May, and we're really happy to say that BSA is making resources available to everyone. So let's use these resources so we can help build up our membership here. Relationships are really the most important part of scouting. Those of us who are adult leaders know this. We've stayed in so long, partly because we've seen the benefits to our own children. But truth be told, a lot of us are still involved in scouting because of the friendships and fellowship that we find in this movement. Sustaining and growing the scouting movement requires good community relations, as well as good relations amongst ourselves. Please help us expand the community relations in Western Massachusetts. Introduce Art and me to the key leaders in your schools, your churches, your chartering organizations, your community agencies. We want to engage them in our scouting movement as well. They can support us. We want them to know the good things that all of our scouts are doing. So please get in touch with us. You can reach us through the marketing and membership page, through an email link there. And of course, we are all in for scouting in 2020. I've really enjoyed hearing from those of you who've been contacting me recently for information or to share some of your plans and some of the progress that you've been making on recruitment this summer. So please keep getting in touch with me. I look forward to hearing from you. Keep on scouting. Have a great summer. Thank you. Okay. Ellie, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Cheryl. One of the things that's on my agenda for this evening is popcorn and Art, but Art, we had also talked about you doing a question and answer thing at the end of the meeting. What's your preference?
So we do have questions and answers. It's probably better to take to the end of the session tonight so that those that are here for some other information can get that, and those that want specifically to get the popcorn information can have the quality time spent at the end of the meeting. But I did want to spend just a quick minute to mention again that our popcorn sale has started this year. We have 17 units on board so far. Over last weekend, they sold collectively $4,000 worth of popcorn. So congratulations to those 17 units that were able to do that. Again, there's a lot of things that are coming out as we're moving along this year. And the kickoff is coming up just next week.
Josh, you have an update for us?
I had a couple things that I wanted to quickly talk about. So I'll go through them as quickly as I can because I know that Art has his discussion about popcorn. So the first quick thing, I know that back at earlier in June and then at the program launch, there was talk about the fee increases. And so a lot of people, that was included in the 70+ page packet was the information about the fee increases that are coming this year. You know, it's $66 for Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, venturing, $42 for Explorers, and $42 for adults. The newest change is the insurance cost. Instead of $7, insurance cost has gone up to $12 for our council. So that's the newest change, is the increase to $12. We're very lucky. My brother is down in Connecticut Rivers Council, and their fee increase was over $50 when it comes to just insurance on top of the national fee increases. So we are only able to increase by a $6 increment. So we're going to $12 instead of some other number. So I just wanted to make sure that people are aware of that. Obviously, as we get closer to recharter time, more information will be out, and the commissioners will have that information available to them as well. But just to quickly mention the fact that insurance will be going up to $12. And so people, I know that a lot of units are in the process of coming up with their budget and so on. So please keep that in mind as we move forward. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I would be happy to answer them as I am able. The other thing that I wanted to quickly put a little shout out, a bug in people's ear. This past week, there was the virtual Interfaith Week, which was supposed to be held at Philmont, but due to COVID-19 didn't happen. Scouts, the Duty to God portion in Cub Scouting as well as in Scouts BSA has been growing over the past couple years. This is a phenomenal resource that is now available to our leaders on all levels. I would highly encourage people to go to Duty to God BSA. There's a Facebook page, Duty to God BSA. There's also dutytogodbsa.org, which is the official webpage. Both of them have lots of information, and they also have recordings of all of the classes that took place last week from 11 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. So another major resource that's available. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. We had two topics for Big Rocks this evening. One was youth protection training. Just a little bit of a reminder to everyone that while we are seeing a lot of extensions of museum memberships and timelines for completion of things, including our taxes are now due next week. Youth protection does not have extensions. So if your youth protection training is due to expire, you do need to renew it and you need to stay current with it. So for anyone who has any questions about doing it online, because there are some people who prefer to do it in person, you need to go to the myscouting.org. In the upper left on the menu, go to My Training, and then you might have to wait for a little bit for it to load, then select YPT. follow all of the information on that. On the right-hand side is the take course. And once you have taken the course, it usually takes a day for everything to process through for you to be able to print your certificate. But what I would highly recommend is that when you have completed the course and it tells you you have completed the course, take a screenshot, because then if you, for some reason, can't get back in the following day to get your certificate, you at least have that screenshot to be able to share with Gail, with the registrar, and so that you can keep on going. Okay. The other thing we wanted to talk about this evening was avoiding Zoom fatigue. And now that school has let out, I think there's a little bit of relief on the part of kids that they're not on Zoom every day or multiple times during the week for schooling. But still, using Zoom, and now that we can get together in small groups dependent upon the chartered organization, I think we'll be able to see less Zoom fatigue on the parts of the kiddos. But in the meantime, some key things to remember are to really mix it up. Kind of going back to old school things like using the telephone, and especially using email. One of the things that's really that can happen is that you can email to the group an activity that they do, maybe a science experiment or something like that, and then have a Zoom meeting at a set time where they all share the results of what it is that they've done, whether they each have an element of a merit badge that they're working on, or an experiment or an activity or something that's going on within Cub Scouting. There's things like developing games and stuff like that. So you can email them the information for the activity, the materials, the directions, all of those pieces, have them completed at home with whatever help they need, or independently, however independently they can do it, and then get together by Zoom to share the projects. The other thing that's helping prevent Zoom fatigue is fewer meetings and shorter meetings, so that when we say less is more, in this case it really is, because that will help keep them engaged more if they're not there for a long period of time. The other thing would be to get outside and do an activity and then come back to a Zoom meeting. So you log in, you take a break, you go outside, you do something, you come back and reconnect for the meeting. The Cub Scout how-to book has a lot of really different short kinds of activities that you can do, and a creative person can really take some of those and extend those for Scouts BSA and for crew activities. Things like a 5-minute hike in your backyard, but you can do it as a themed hike, like you're searching for all of the things that you can find that are green, all of the things that you see that are yellow, or a textured kind of hike where you're looking for things that are smooth, things that are rough, things that are slimy. There are some really cool ways of doing outdoor hike kinds of things that will engage the kids, engage our youth, and then in a Zoom format, they can come back and they can share all of those experiences. Their interest level is going to be higher because it's something that they've actually done. They're not just sitting there watching other people. So I'll open it up if there's anybody else who's got any other ideas on what they've been doing to prevent Zoom fatigue. Nobody? All right, then I guess we're ready to split for breakouts.
So tonight's topic is for Cub Scout is To the Rescue. Hello, thank you. So I have a couple slides that I made up, and afterwards we can have some discussion afterwards. For To the Rescue, a Scout is helpful. Okay, and really just kind of start off the meeting. You can say thank you to all our leaders for teaching people what to do in a case of emergency and the willingness to help one another. Oops. Oh, that way. You're all on my way. There you go. For a Cub Masters minute, I have written out one here. Is don't be a hero. Being a hero doesn't mean you must risk your own life. It means getting help to make a phone call to 911 to get the police, fire department, ambulance. The key is to use wisdom and judgment, but to do it quickly. Sometimes time is limited, and you can save a life. You can save a drowning person by pulling them out with a life ring and not becoming a victim yourself by jumping in after them. Many times an adult leader life has been saved because a child knew to call 911 in an emergency and to get help right away. You never know when an emergency will arise. Cub Scouting teaches us to come to the rescue and handle the situations. We don't expect to get hurt. We don't expect to need first aid, but we are prepared just in case. Some activities you can do with your Cub Scouts is to make first aid neckerchief slides. I found this one on the Philmont resource guide. And this was just a simple Ziploc baggie that they used, one of the small ones, and they duct taped it up on the sides to make it stronger. And then inside they filled it with Band-Aids and first aid creams and things like that. So those are really cool. Our kids do many versions of these throughout the year, and they love to do them. So some different games you guys can play for first aid. There's the Band-Aids related game. You can start off, you can use your neckerchiefs, and you can make a sling and bandage the head or the arm or whatever. It's always kind of fun to see all the kids all wrapped up at the end. You can also find the Band-Aid or first aid baseball game. Those are kicking around. I know I was looking at them. You might have to update some of the questions because I know they relate back to the old book, but some very good questions in there. There's a first aid carry relay where they're practicing carrying their friends out. And then a simple Kim's game as well. Also to go with first aid, there is the Emergency Preparedness Awards. It's for your tiger, your wolf, and my next slide has the bear and webelos. But not only can people earn them as Cubs, you can earn them in the Boy Scouts. All of your adult and your youth, all of your adult and leaders can earn it as well. So I'll leave this up for a few minutes and then I'll go to the other side. I won't read out all the requirements, but anybody have any questions? Oops. Has anybody done the first aid preparedness with their pack?
I'm gonna say a no.
No.
Yeah, we our pack is planning to do that. We are working and see if we can put together something to start working with the kids, and that we're thinking for a while. So
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this: is this the first time you're hearing about this? Because I know it's not as widely publicized as other things are.
no, at least I've been reading about since last year, but I can't put it together. So we are working and with my husband input something together to start doing the award with the kids. At least maybe in August, September, something that I try to put in the calendar for the next year. So.
For anybody who's done them, have you guys reached out into different organizations such as the Red Cross or anything like that for help for like the first aid courses for the Webelos? I know the Red Cross also does the pillowcase. Yep, my kids did them. I forget what they're called.
Yes, I know.
The pillowcases.
Roundtable to do a
Yeah,
presentation.
we did that a few years ago, actually.
Right.
So local fire stations will very often offer courses like that to Cub Scout packs. I love doing it.
Okay. Yeah, when I came to the first aid courses, like my kids is, you know, we've done most of everything else, but we got to that one going, it's like, who do we reach out to? So that's what I had for.
Could a den chief who's earned the emergency awareness merit badge help with this, or is that not something that would be appropriate?
I think that would be okay.
And they could help lead a training.
Yeah, they could help lead.
Skills you learned as a scout.
Yep.
It just won't qualify for anything official, like in terms of wilderness first aid training, and so forth. But it would definitely be helpful within the Cub Scout pack. That could definitely be feasible.
Yeah.
You can bet they probably know a lot more than most of the leaders do, actually.
True. Because they try to hide most of the injuries they get without the leaders noticing.
Exactly.
And a youth who has done the emergency preparedness merit badge, they also, if they're a den chief, they also should be able to access the troop program features online for emergency preparedness. And there are some different games and activities in there that they could adapt to bring down to the level for their Cub Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So if one of the leaders have the training, he can and he's certified of SPR, he can do the whole program with the kids, right? Or
Yes.
they need involve, like, for example, the fire department or some special guests, or.
Yes, and even if it were a parent who's not a registered leader, as long as you have the 2D leadership, use your resources. That's what the parent family talent search form is for, is learn what people's parents and friends of the family, what their vocations, what their avocations, what their hobbies are, and take advantage of all of that. Really put them to work for you. You know, you don't need to be doing all of the planning for yourself. Use your resources.
Yeah, so I know there's plenty of scout leaders out there who are nurses, doctors, EMTs, paramedics, firefighters, military. So there's definitely a slew of resources you could draw upon. I can at least think of two off the top of my head.
Yeah, because I have a few parents that are nurses, and my husband is doctor, so we're planning to use all of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When my
son was in the Boy Scouting program, one of the assistant leaders was a dentist, and everybody had to do the dentistry merit badge.
Yeah, so if you have a parent that does this for a living, you might want to do like a walkthrough with them just to make sure they're not using any terminology that the scout may not understand.
Okay.
Ellie's idea of using the troop helps and the troop guides was a very good one. We did that with the pack in Springfield. It was a new pack that we started this year, and it was the end of the season, you know, before everything shut down, but we were doing something like that. We let the parents know we were going to do it. We let them know what we were going to be talking about, did some things with the kids, and just for very basic what's an emergency, you know, the hurry cases, what do you do? And then when they left, we sent them home with something so they could share with the families. And we again, cued the parents into what we were doing. So those things do work really well. The kids are interested, and now is a really good time, you know, where they've got time to look at that and use it.
Years ago, one of the units that I was a unit commissioner for, they used to do an emergency preparedness Olympics event. They do a day-long thing, and their troop, they'd invite other troops to join them, but they had multiple different stations around with different disasters and things like that. And this could be adapted down for the Cub Scout level. And the youth went from station to station. It was a sort of like a mini camporee in that there was a different activity that they went to, and they were awarded points based on their responses and things like that. But they were different types of hurry cases, different types of emergencies and things. And the kids had a great time because they weren't doing just one focused item. They were going from place to place to place.
And this will be a useful item for your den chiefs, because I know with the communications merit badge, which is required for Eagle, they have to do a presentation. This will be an ideal subject for that presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably also the ideal time to go through your first aid kits to make sure you have no expired items. Fortunately, there's a lot of companies out there now that specialize in just replenishing the stuff that expires over time, so you don't end up having to go buy a whole new kit. You can just buy what expired.
And of course, make sure you have plenty of gloves and masks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And doing this kind of a session now during this time is good, because you could also do a little write-up for your local paper, publicize that this is what they're doing. So again, the community knows what you're doing as Scouts. Let your chartering organization know. It'll be some information for them as well. So that sharing is all part of how you spread the Scouting story. But it certainly is a service to the kids and their families, that somebody in the family knows how to respond if there's a situation.
And to take that one step further, Cheryl, the little mini first aid kit that Rebecca was showing earlier, made with the snack bags. They don't have to be made into a neckerchief slide. Your pack could make those, and your chartered organization could have them to distribute. If you're chartered by a church, some churches are now meeting again, they could have them available for people to pick up. And you could put a little sticker on it, you know, this personal first aid kit is provided by Pack 168, sponsored by United Methodist First Church Congregational in Munson. To join Scouting, contact, you know, and use it as a promo piece in addition to a Scouting is still happening even though we're in this situation.
That's a great service, Ellie, and it is a service project. So make sure you record the hours that you're doing for your PAC service hours. All of that stuff, that's the kind of an activity that families can do on their own and then contribute. And everybody's doing a parallel activity at the same time. But it's a little different than your regular unit meeting.
And if you wanted to be able to get together and do it outdoors, you know, a few people at somebody's picnic table or something like that, it's easy to be able to do something like that as well.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we're starting to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Iris.
So I think we have 3 more minutes before we're put back into the main room.
Are there questions or concerns or best practices that anybody wants to share before we go back into the main room?
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have one question. I know that I was told that somewhere in Holland they had a meeting that they might want to start up a pack again in Holland, Mass, which is down the road from us.
Yeah.
But I guess what happened was nobody wants to be the Cub Master. They don't want, and I'm taking,
Yeah.
which is fine because I'm the Cub Master for Brimfield, Holland, and Wales. But I don't know. I mean, this happened maybe like a year ago. I'm a little off on timeline here. Does anybody have an idea of how I could contact someone so I could find out that information? Because I don't think the kids in Holland know that there's a pack here in Brimfield that they could join. And that would be huge for recruitment.
Robin, let me talk to Art Lobdell and let's get something out locally in the town. It may just be something like posters and yard signs. So let's plan to get together and share this information because we can offer that. That's great. Thank you. And I think we can make something work on that. Okay.
Also, check the Holland Market. Usually has like a bulletin board, and right now main attraction is up and running. I don't know. I don't remember if they have.
I did put a sign in Holland Market a few days ago, and I also put one up in Diana's Villanova. And we also sent out a bunch of joining signs for all the restaurants in Brimfield, Holland, and Wales for a pack/scout joining between myself and George. But we haven't got anything back from that, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
Okay.
Well, let's see what we can get going. Is there a community channel for TV or cable or anything?
Holland is a little bit weird. In that Holland is through their cable stuff is through Cox. And when my brother calls to say he's got a problem, they say, no, we don't have any service in Massachusetts. It's like, we only service Rhode Island. And it's like, no, you service this one little town in Massachusetts.
Oh, God.
So
maybe through the town then. Let's see if we can go through the town hall. Maybe there's something that we'll figure out. But I love the ideas, Robin. Thank you.
And there was just an Eagle Scout project that was completed recently that was from the troop in Brimfield, but was benefited the Holland Library. So the library would be another place to really reach out to for membership or to put signs and things because they've already got a relationship going.
Perfect.
Okay, I think we're going to be going back shortly.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
One last thing, look on the website coming up soon. I know we've talked about car parades and as a way to publicize scouting in the community. So Art's having something put up on the site that if you're a pack or troop is looking to do this kind of an event, register it ahead of time. It has a checklist so that you're doing all the checks that you need to do to make sure it's safe, following the Guide to Safe Scouting, community, and state and town guidelines, scouting guidelines. But that is a possibility, great way to publicize what your unit's doing. You know, Robin, maybe you do a car parade through Holland.
Well, you know, and Cheryl, it's funny that you say that because I was just there over the weekend and they had the boat parade over the weekend where everybody decorates their boats and goes around the lake. That was over this past weekend.
Okay, well, that's creative.
It's something we've done on the lake for forever.
Yeah, a lot of the big lakes do it. But I'm thinking, you know, that might be something a troop could do.
But, you know, like for Munson Summerfest, you know, there would be either the unit marching in the parade or a float in the parade or something. Make one of the boats into a scouting thing for the boat parade, you know.
Right. And that's what you do for a car parade. So cool. All right. Well, and let us know if you do decide to do it.
Yes, I want to be there.
Toot your horns, literally and figuratively.
So then next up is John Willamay with our closing.
Thank you, Ellie. First of all, let me just say that Monique and I did not talk about her opening and my closing. If you look at the calendar, we should have been having completed the first day of day camp for Cub Scouts, and we should have had our first full day of Scouts BSA resident camp at the 75th anniversary year at the Moses Scout Reservation. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, as we know, that could not happen. However, what I would like to do, and I have prepared very carefully, and it's burning down because it's supposed to be burning down, but I don't know how well you can see. Can you see that at all, my campfire?
Yes, we can see it.
So I don't know if you can make that the big focus on the screen, but. So what I would like to do in honor of our supposed to be at camp, camping type of things, is to have you join me in Scout Vespers, and we'll sing it once, hum it once, and sing it a second time. So feel free to unmute yourselves if you'd like to be heard, or mute yourselves if you don't want to be heard. Softly falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor right? Can I give sleep tonight? Have I done? Have I dared? Everything to be prepared. Humming.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Softly falls the light of day as our campfire fades away. Silently each scout should ask, have I done my daily task? Have I kept my honor bright? Can I give sleep tonight? Have I done? Have I dared? Everything to be prepared. May the great Scoutmaster of all good Scouts be with us until we meet again.
Art, ready for the Q&A?
Yes, those remaining online will now be talking about Trails and Popcorn. I know there were at least a couple of people who had some specific questions. They were texting earlier. So we'll go stay as long as you need us to stay.
I had a question. So I was able to get the app, and actually we were able to make some sales. But when I was in Wales the other day, the app didn't work at all. It wouldn't even load. And I'm concerned about going to other areas where the app won't load. And I was wondering, are we going to get some forms? And not to mention is which, like, for example, my grandfather is 92. He can't use the phone to see what he wants to order. He just can't. He needs the form. Will we be getting any of those for popcorn sales?
Yes, those are being printed as we are speaking here. So the traditional forms still do exist. Again, that was, I'm not quite sure when we'll have them in-house. I don't know if Vincent has any update on that, but we did sign off on them about 10 days ago, the final version of what was included in the prices and all that sort of stuff. So we still do have the normal things. Again, it's just, and again, you know, most of you remember that even though in the past we had the show and tell sales or show and delivers, that most of that, you know, the sale did not kick off until the end of August or the beginning of September. So now we have the advantage of going in with the app selling now. But some of those same supports are still going to be available for the sale. So forms are being printed. Again, if you wanted to look at them, I certainly have no reason. If it's not on our website page today, I can make sure it's there tomorrow, you know, as a PDF if you wanted, you know, use a real paper one that you printed locally and get started. Or again, the ones on the sturdier, you know, we should have relatively soon.
I just have
I know Vincent was with it.
I'm still here, Art.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just had a quick question. I was contacted by a parent tonight that said that every time she goes onto the app, she is asked to change her password. And I know personally, I receive an email every time I log in with the same cell phone. It tells me that it's logged in with some other location or something every time I log into my son's Trails In page.
Sometimes depending on where you're at, your phone may be getting pinged from another tower, and so it may make it look like you're in a city that you're not in. A good example of this is I'm in Indiana, so sometimes when I go to Fort Wayne, Indiana, my son's a scout too. It'll ping as if I'm in Chicago, and so I know it depends on what the closest tower that you're using to. The closest tower that you are to, sometimes it'll make you look like you're somewhere where you might not be, and so sometimes it makes the system think that maybe someone is trying to access your account when in actuality it's you.
Okay. Mine's actually doing it from my house. I haven't opened it in a different location. It's done in my house every single time.
Yeah.
Are you using it when you're using it? Are you using it through your Wi-Fi?
Through my Wi-Fi, yeah.
Okay.
On my cell phone though.
Can you send Art some of your information, and I'll follow up with our marketing team that handles the app, and I can kind of get more answers for you that way. But that's the way it was explained to me, which it does seem to happen to me quite a bit when I'm close to Chicago. But I'm not sure about how it operates in the Northeast. So if you can send that information to me, I can certainly look into it.
Okay. Sure. And how about the password? Because she said she's having to change her password every time she logs in.
If you send me your account information, I can also have our customer service team look into that, and I should be able to get an answer for you by tomorrow morning.
Okay, I'll have her send that to you. Great, thank you.
No problem at all.
So I have a couple of questions. One probably for Vincent and one for Art. Are we going to be able to get the microwavable popcorn in person, or is that strictly online?
Unfortunately, this year, that's an online only item. From a Weaver standpoint, because everyone is home due to COVID, the microwavable market has actually gone up 60%, and we cannot keep up with production, like for anyone, not Walmart, Kroger, Scouting, anyone.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, we had to move it online in order to even offer it at all this year.
Okay. And I guess with this, my second question probably more pertains to you. Are we going to be able to do show and sells this year? Or
We still do have, we still do have it as part of the plan, but there are a couple of changes from past show and sells. So what is going to happen, and again, I was going to go over this at the kickoff next week, is that any of the product that is ordered, you must keep. So, you know, in those new parameters, again, folks may choose not to do it, or just really order what you can for sure move. And because again, just all of the handling and transferring, you know, the environment that we're in, we just need to, you know, be respectful as you probably see as you're going. You know, many of the stores are not taking returns. You know, I had a sale when I was in at a department store. I was still standing at the counter. You know, something was already rung up, and I said, "Oh, that wasn't part of my order. You know, I don't need that." And they said, "No, it's already gone through. You have to take it." Obviously, I had a little discussion with the manager. I said, "I have not left the building yet," and so I was able to get my refund. But they're able. We just need to watch out for everyone's safety. But there is going to be a show and sell that we do have the calendar on our popcorn page. That the when the orders are due and the distribution. I can look it up while we're entertaining other questions. So why don't we do that? Why don't we take another question, then I'll chime back in with the dates.
Okay, thank you.
I'm putting the dates in the chat.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you, Greg, for that support.
When are final popcorn orders due by?
I'm putting the dates in the chat.
And also, when I actually tried to do an order on show and sell, it kept saying something in the app like you have to pick a location, or I can't remember exactly what it said, but it wouldn't let me do a show and sell order.
Yeah, there are portions of the app where you do have to set up a show and sell location and then set up a shift and things like that, and that's how it does the sale. But if you're trying to do something where you're not at a location, I would just pretty much do it as a wagon sale and go that route. But when you set up a show, when you do a show and sell, it thinks you're at a specific location running a shift and things like that, so it's going to make you commit to a location and a shift and a time.
I have a question. I had a couple Cubs families register as a troop, as Troop 1849 instead of Pack 1849. How do we fix them?
If you send that to me, I can go ahead and get that corrected for you. It should be a very easy fix. Or if you want to send it to Art and he can send it to me, we'll get that taken care of for you.
Okay, some families are Girl Scout families and everybody's a troop there.
Yeah, it happens. It happens quite a bit. So it's no problem at all. Just get it to Art and I'll get it taken care of for you.
All right, thank you.
I had a question. I'm the popcorn kernel for the pack and the troop, but when I log into my leader dashboard, I'm only able to see the pack.
That's another one that I can get squared away for you. I actually took care of a similar situation today. If you give me all your information, I'll have that done for you by tomorrow morning.
Okay, how do I get my information to you?
Just send it to Art and Art will send it to me and I'll get you taken care of.
Okay, thank you.
No problem at all.
I haven't logged into the troop yet. Will I have issues logging into my own children and the troop as a colonel?
You shouldn't have issues. You're able to have multiple accounts under the same email, but sometimes for whatever reason, it does get messed up sometimes and it doesn't take. And if that happens, then you can send it to me and I'll get you taken care of so you get both.
Thank you.
So I will be watching for the emails tonight. I know several of you have to compose them, and I'll pass them on as the switchboard operator. I'll watch all the way at least until 9:30 tonight, and then if I don't see it by 9:30, then tomorrow. So you don't have to dash right off. So give you an hour and a half afterwards to get an email off.
Could I actually have the gentleman from Trails End's email? Because you asked
Yeah,
us to send the information to you, and I realized I don't have your information.
I'll type it in the chat for you. No problem at all.
Okay, thanks.
I saw a hand up. Did I see a hand raised? Aaron.
I asked my question already.
The order form is up on the website, Art. It's labeled Family Guide, probably from documents from years past, but it is there.
Okay, that's good. I thought we had put it there. Again, I can talk a little bit about, again, some of the products are only going to be available on the app Order Direct. And then there's also one other product that is being handled uniquely. So I just wanted to make sure everyone understood that as well. Our one product that is going to come in a tin, the New England Patriots, it's a salted caramel. That is only available through the show and sell orders. We had to commit to a certain amount of the product. And so we did our best based on last sales. So we do have that product on order, and you all need to put it on your show and sell orders in order to get that. So that is the New England Patriots salted caramel corn collector's tin. It retails for $30.
I'm not sure how many of you guys are actually Patriots fans, but I'm in Indianapolis and I'm a big time Colts fan, so it pains me to ship that to you guys, but we'll get it there.
With Brady gone, how many are going to want it? No, I'm just kidding.
That's true. That's very true.
We got a good one coming in. We're coming back.
Yeah, you guys got a good
We're
deal.
competitive this year.
I have a question about the shipping. How much is the shipping? Because I know during this weekend was the promotion of free shipping, and as I was understanding was until July 3rd to the 5th, and then some people think that was the whole 5th, but it was until 8 p.m. And after that, they tried to do the order, and they charge for shipping. How much is the shipping now, or is there going to be another opportunity for free shipping, or how's it working?
I'm fairly certain that it's going to be more free shipping weekends. We generally start with one shipping weekend, and then as the sale goes on, we add more. But to answer your question on terms of what the shipping cost looks like, it's $7.99 for the first item, and then 99 cents for each additional item. So that there's no confusion, if you do buy through Online Direct and you purchase a bundle, and let's say the bundle comes with 3 items, that's not going to be $7.99. That's going to be $7.99 and then 99 cents for each item.
Okay, so is the bundle is the 3 item was 3 package, so it's going to be like $7.99 plus extra $2 maybe, more or less, for each one of those? Like
Correct. Yeah, that's the way they're doing it, because they're not shipping it in like a they're not shipping it all together. They're shipping it separately because of how the warehouse is handling the shipping, and so they're charging for each additional item. So yeah, it'll be $7.99 for the first item, and then 99 cents for each additional item.
Yeah, because the confusion last weekend was because some people know the 5th, so they thought they had the whole day, but was until 8 p.m. So they missed that, and then they start calling me and like, I don't know, I thought the same, was the whole day, but
Yeah, I can tell you we do calls every morning, and the marketing team was let's just say they got a pretty nice lashing this morning about not communicating that very clearly. So I don't think that's going to be an issue the next time we roll out free shipping.
Okay.
I saw Aaron has a hand raised.
I'm not sure how to unraise it because I already asked my question. So I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
Anything more?
Well, I'm going to say thank you to everyone for joining us this evening, for all of the questions, for all of the input. I want everybody to stay safe, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the August Roundtable.